And you can't get to the top of this company by yourself. You actually have to bring people with you. So again, it's just like the lottery. You know, if you get there some kind of way by accident and you didn't bring anybody with you, at some point in time, you probably find yourself back down on the bottom. And again, she told you a lot of great things about me, but the thing she didn't tell you about me was that back in 2008, we were going through some things, tough spills financially. We had 3 companies, and we were on the brink, not on the brink, we lost 3 companies at one time, all right? I mean, you know, you have to be really good to lose more than one company right away. So that was my situation. And how many of you believe that, you know, bad things happen to good people sometimes? You know? I mean, you know, that it may not be a bad thing, right? I do believe that my steps are ordered, and I believe that everybody's steps are ordered. And I'm glad that what happened to me happened to me, because again, it put me in a position where now I can really make an impact globally. You know, my wife and I, out of the 51 countries that the company do business with, I do business in 27. And again, it's not to impress you, but to impress upon you that a person who knew nothing about nutraceuticals, who knew nothing about health and wellness, and knew nothing about coffee and all this other stuff that you're going to hear about tonight, can really put this business, you know, into working and put it in 27 countries without knowing exactly what they were doing from the beginning. And so tonight, if you don't have anything else, you'll have hope, because if I can do it, you can too. And so Organo, for me, it started September 2008, and I brought a couple of magazines with me here. This is Success Magazine, and back in 2012, our 4-year anniversary, the company broke a couple records in the industry. Okay? They put this company in a position where they've actually created 50 people plus that had earned over $1 million in a calendar year in their first 4 years of business. Okay? And that was the first time they'd ever done that in this industry. Okay? And then they did it so well in so many countries right away that they had to turn around and do a second one for all the Latino countries that we were in. Okay? And so the company, again, itself, it's had its, you know, its share of successes. And so you'll see a lot of companies out there like the Amways, the Mary Kays, the Shackley's, and you've heard a lot of those companies, right? Okay? Those are great companies. Those are billion-dollar companies, and some of them are on their way to $1 billion. And so, but there are tens of thousands of companies out there that you don't hear about at all. Okay? But the company that you hear about today, again, in our first 6 years of business, we did $1 billion in sales. We got to $1 billion faster than Starbucks, okay? Microsoft, Burger King, McDonald's, and Dairy Queen combined. A lot of companies, Coca-Cola, a lot of companies that you actually do business with today, this company got to $1 billion faster than all those companies. So today, you're not listening to a company that's just a fly-by-night company, some rinky-dink company. This is a big corporation, okay? And so when you look at why this company, you know, is a great corporation, it's about leadership, and we'll talk to you a little bit about that in a little bit. But the one thing I like about it is that it puts you in business in 5 industries that are all recession-proof. And so when you actually have a company that you can take one of those industries and then do and make millions of dollars in just one of those industries, but you wrap it around 5 others, that puts you in a great place. So regardless of what's happening, you know, in the economy, regardless of who the president is, you're the president of your household. You control your own economy. You have your own stimulus package. You have your own bailout plan. You have your own retirement plan, and that's what you have the opportunity to look at today. You know, again, people were getting rich before Organo. They're going to continue to get rich without Organo. But this company is for a lot of people who don't have that in their portfolio. I mean, you know, how many of you out there know people like that who don't have something's going to retire them? They're waking up tomorrow hoping that something falls in their lap. Okay? And people should live their life hoping. Okay? So when you look at Organo, and I know he's got these slideshows, what have you, I kind of go off a little bit, because I want to make sure that, you know, I don't talk at you. I want to make sure we converse, we communicate. I want to make sure we connect, because I want to make sure you get it. Okay? Today, I want to make sure you walk out of here with the opportunity to give me an educated yes or an educated no. We're going to be happy with either one of them. Okay? I mean, you know, we've had tens of thousands of people tell us no. Yeah, and we still made $1 billion in our first 6 years. All major corporations do that, all of them. Trust me. Bill Gates had people tell them no. What? Microsoft, trust me, they laughed at Microsoft in the beginning. You're gonna take a computer, the size of the room, and put it in, you know, a little small space on somebody's desk. You know they laughed at that, right? Now you have computers on what? Your watch. Okay? I'm just saying, listen, anything's possible. It's possible if you think it's possible. Okay? Some of you gonna walk out of here today and you're gonna say this just won't work. And some of you gonna walk out of there and say the exact opposite, and guess what? Both of you gonna be right. Because again, you're gonna get exactly what you tell your brain that you want. Okay? So today, have an open mind. Okay? Have an open mind, and the companies that, as far as organo, the first industry that we tapped into is the health and wellness industry. Now this is the industry that's been driven by the baby boomers for a long time. I know we don't have any in here, right? Except outside the door. Right? But you're talking about 80% of all the dollars generated, most of them in the health and wellness industry came from the baby boomers. Okay? And things are changing, but we put you in the industry with the #1 most impactful herb in the world documented. Okay? And we'll talk about that herb in just a moment. Then we put you in the home-based business arena. Now that's a big arena because you have 70,000 people around the world right now, not just in America, that are looking for something extra. Okay? 70,000 people per week are opening up a home-based business around the world every week. Okay? And when you look at America, one of the most popular ways to make more money and have more investment capital is to have a home-based business, especially if you're starting off, with a job on a part-time basis. Because when you look at people who have a job, a person who has a $100,000 per year job with no home-based business versus one that has a home-based business with a $100,000 job, the tax breaks are a lot different. Okay? When you have a $100,000 job with no business, no tax deductions, you make $65,000 a year. Okay? They take $35,000 and they take that money and they do a little bit for America, and they put the rest in their pocket. Now, if you have a home-based business with a $100,000 per year job, you bring home about $82,000 per year. Because 50% of the $35,000 they took, they gave you back because they want you to now go out there and create your company. So now you can create more opportunities for them to tax more people. Okay? So I help you open up your home-based business. Now all of a sudden everybody in this room becomes your employees. I don't have to tax you that much. Matter of fact, I don't want to tax you that much. I want to keep you in business, I want to keep you thriving, and I want to tax everybody in this room that works for you. See how it works? Okay? It's called points of distribution. Called access points. It's big business. Whether it's for the government, whether it's for you personally, it's big business. Okay? And so when you look at the home-based business arena, you can take that money, put that money back in your pocket. A lot of people do who are aware of that tax break. Then you have the internet that's created more billionaires out there than any other industry out there. Okay? And when you look at the internet, it gives everybody in this room an opportunity to do business with everybody around the world, even the shy people, right? Anybody in shy? Anybody? See, if you ever ask a person if they're shy, they raise their hand, they're not shy. That's how you know. All right? But think about this for a second. You social media, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, so you can talk to anybody because they're not right there in your face. But 27 countries we opened up and did business in. I opened up 13 of those countries over the internet. And out of those 13 countries, I probably only been to 3. But every time they do something, every time they perform, every time they consume, I get paid on everything that they do, everything that their team does, everything that their friends and family consume. I get a piece of that. That's what I was taught when I opened up my mind. I was taught traditional. There's nothing wrong with traditional. But you have to have an open mind for other things. See, now I'm going back to traditional. We're looking at investments, in real estate. We're looking at investments and on the medical side. There's a lot of things we're looking at doing, but now we're taking the coffee money and the non-traditional money and capitalizing our actual dreams, with that coffee money. How many of you have goals and dreams that you haven't accomplished, and the reason you haven't accomplished them because you can't capitalize right now. You can't financially build it right now. Be honest, this is your night, okay? So they gave me an opportunity to find that money to generate that capital. Now I can go back and do everything I always wanted to do. Okay? So now I have to take my goals and my dreams to my grave, like most people do. Okay? But when you look at that, the next industry, now the coffee industry, that's a big industry. And so when you look at coffee, I love coffee from a standpoint of finances. I just started drinking coffee. Even when I was in Colorado in the snow, I drank hot chocolate and hot water while everybody else was drinking coffee. So when I'm looking at coffee and how many people consume coffee, and I look at back in 2008, and there's a gentleman back in 2008 that came on CNN News, and he said, if you have any kind of money, put it in coffee, alcohol, or tobacco. Because we're going into a recession, and people are going to lean heavily on their addictions, okay? Anybody ever heard of a guy by the name of Warren Buffett? Okay? So this is the thing about taking advice from people. You gotta watch who you take advice from, because fast forward here is 2016, right? 2015, that same guy that gave you this real smart advice back in 2008, he partnered with a coffee company. We partnered with Burger King, and they bought Tim Hortons. $14 billion. He had $3 billion in his petty cash account, right? Just laying around. But he came back and took his own advice. Who normally has the most advice for you?
Everybody
Broke
else.
people. People who have zero results. People who you would trade your life for theirs, but they always have the most advice for you, right? So I don't take advice from people I wouldn't trade places with. Okay? I don't take advice from people who have my problems, not my answer. And back in 2008, Warren Buffett had my answer. And when I got a chance to hear about this company, it was right before I heard him on CNN News. So when I looked at coffee, and I looked at everybody in coffee, and I started doing some research, and I started seeing people like, Folgers, who's been around since 1865, well, 1850, I apologize. 165 years, right? They're doing something right. Still in business. Last year, $268 million in revenue. Anybody like to trade bank accounts with Folgers? Okay? So think about this for a second. 165 years. Folgers died a long time ago. Somebody still spending his money. That's called legacy wealth, residual wealth, right? Residual income. And you learn from the people who came before you, right? You got a little company called Starbucks. Anybody ever heard of Starbucks? 40 years old, let's just say 40 years, 40, 42 years, whatever it is, 40 years, right? Not 165. Last year they did 16.8 billion.
Wow.
Okay. See, this is the thing. Starbucks said, we know coffee works, we just need to make it work, but we're more profitable than Folgers. Folgers, Maxwell House, there are more 100-year-old coffee companies out there than any other type of company. And Starbucks said, but we have to set ourselves apart from everybody else. So while Maxwell House and Folgers were selling cans of coffee for $7 a can, Starbucks is selling coffee $7 a cup. Okay? There are places in China, like in China, you can actually go to China and Korea, their large cup of coffee is $17 US. Okay? So don't think we're the only society that will pay on the leg for Starbucks coffee. Right? I saw a guy, again, I went to Starbucks to do business. I walked in Starbucks as a guy was walking out, and the door hit his arm. And he had one of those 4-cup holder things, right? All 4 cups hit the floor. And I think they call them Vente's. That's the largest one. About $10 a cup, $40 worth of coffee on the floor. Guess what he did?
Hot more.
4 more. So that guy's got a problem. So, I'm just saying. I can count. I may say some things wrong. I may spell some things wrong. One thing I can say is I'd rather be rich than well educated. I can count. I can count. $80 for 4 cups of coffee, because you haven't drunk 4, right? But watch this. This is how this happens. Starbucks says we'll take 7 cents of raw nickel material called coffee, and we'll make a $15 net profit with it. Okay? Now, I want to make sure you see how this became 16.8 billion. 70 cents, $150, $7, $1,500, 70, $15,700, and I'll stop here. $150,000 every time. Every time you give me $700, I give you back $150,000. How many times do you do that?
So,
Yes.